see where I'm at here. 4114.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Alright, we'll just let people filter in. I'm gonna check out some of the, see if any arts come in. I don't know if it has.
Mm.
It kind of slowed down.
Oh, I see. That color looks really nice.
Oh, thanks. I did henna. I used to do
Ah.
henna when I was younger. I'm super allergic to hair dye,
Mm.
so I have to. It's always a dicey gamble. I have like, it's so funny now. Whenever I do anything with my hair, it's almost like I get like hair trauma because where I just like spiraled into anxiety if I do anything because I've had such terrible reactions in the past
Mm.
that I just like the second I feel like a tinge or a little tickle on my scalp, I just like my heart starts racing. I start to feel sick
Mm.
because yeah, it's been really bad because I also so another thing I've found is that patch tests aren't always fail safe because the
Ooh.
skin on your head, your scalp is different than the rest of your body, at least for me. So like I've
Mm.
patch tested on my arm or on my leg, and had no problems. But then the second I put it on my hair, yeah, bad news bears, bad news
Ah.
bears, and then end up in the urgent care.
Ooh.
Yeah, super. They're like, so what happened to your head? It looks like you burned it. And it's like, no, I'm just an idiot. And then I have to shave all my hair off. And yeah. Oh, there's Arsha and Sleepy Kitties, Alice, ooh, ooh, ooh. What's the proper term for that? Oh, this, yeah, we're just looking at FanForge while people are filtering in. We have
Mhm.
this beautiful existential dread.
Yeah.
It's very lovely. Submitted by Dave Strider. Into that. What else do we have here? Oh, this page goes so slow. Oh, hey Marcus. Hey Eldritch. Uh, oh,
Hello,
this
lovely
one.
folks in chat.
Yeah, so I don't really totally understand this reference. A little bit, maybe? I don't know why he's sad at the bottom. I guess it's his brother, and then uh, the
Mm.
the why can't I think of the name? Oh my god. The
Yeah.
what's Dave's
Dave's right.
Dave Sprite. I was like, where is it? Yeah. I love that one. Oh, this week is
Yeah, really neat.
Fan Venture Week? What's Fan Venture Week?
Fan Venture Week. I believe it is. Um, it's just a week where kind of fandom focusing on promoting like different fan ventures and for people to kind of like put put their stuff out there and have like a focus on that for fan content and fandom spaces and stuff.
Oh, I've never heard of that. Let me look that up. Fan Venture? Oh, so there's a specific Fan Ventures on MSFP. MSF. Oh my God, MSPFA. I can't say that. So these are adventures that fans make that are Homestucky?
Yeah, it's like taking the Homestuck comic style and then making your own story with it. Some of them are also related to like Spurb. Some of them are just like using the format to do like their own kind of story things. Yeah, people do really awesome stuff with it.
Oh, fun. That's where we read Viral Medium. Oh, right. Also, I like your hair, Cassie. Thanks, Marcus. I was just telling Chamomile that it on the camera looks a lot more ginger than in real. Well, I don't know. It maybe it is that bright. Yeah, I made a pseudo trailer for a viral medium last night to celebrate. Aww, that's great. Let's see what else we have. This cute Nepeta wearing a cute little pirate
Oh.
hat. Adorable. Oh yeah. Yeah, we haven't had a lot of people submitting, but I think we have enough for um whatever's coming later. I can't believe it's almost 4:13. This is the last week.
I know, it's exciting.
Holy cow. I wonder if what pumpkin's doing anything.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Eldritch just sent me this. Oh wait, I have to fix my audio to come through my headphones. Here we go. Aw, thanks, Arsha. Oh, yeah, I'm opening it anyway. We have equipment. Oh, what's up, baby? Ooh, this music's cool. Nice. That's cool. Very cool. What's up? Nels, I just started. What's going on? Like this creepy clown music coming from his cell phone? Why is it Wheels on the Bus / carnival music? Honey, you have... Hey, you have waffles? Can you eat those? Why'd you turn the lights off? What do you want up here? Do you want a bun? Sorry, we're just getting started. I'm just gonna get this child some... I guess, yeah, so I guess we can kind of, while I'm stepped away getting this child some snacks to get him started. So welcome, everybody. This is episode 36, if you can believe it. God, I can't believe it's been 36 of these. And we have a guest, ChamomileGothic, for the first time today, so it's awesome. Thank you so much for joining us. Do you want to talk a little bit about, how long you've been reading Homestuck and kind of your involvement in the community and where people can follow you, what type of projects you've done, and then also your favorite your favorite troll and your favorite kid, and your least favorite troll and your least favorite kid.
Ooh, okay. Well, thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited to be doing this today. So I've been into Homestuck for too long. I started reading in like late 2011. I had a friend of mine who was all excited about Cascade coming out, and so I started reading like shortly after Cascade came out, and I didn't know anything about it at all. I had no spoilers. I just knew that there was like a guy named John Egbert, and I knew that Christmas was a thing, and I thought it was an actual thing in the comic, but it ended up just being like the name that was given to the day that Cascade came out.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was because it was like my friend came. We were hanging out there yelling, "Oh, like Merry Christmas" and all that stuff, and I was like, "What are you talking about?" But yeah, I've been around for a while. And in terms of like fan content-y stuff, I do streams. So I started about just over 2 years ago. I started streaming kind of similar to this, where it's just reading Homestuck out loud. But the idea was that it's not a no spoiler zone. So it's kind of like reading Homestuck, talking about it within the greater context of the whole comic, talking about, hey, when this came out, this kind of fan stuff was happening, or Right now, I'm in the middle of the second reread stream,
Nice.
and we're just starting. Yeah, it took about a year the first time, and then I took a year to do. I did like Undertale and Hive Swap and a couple of other things, and now we're hopping back into another reread. We just started the intermission, and
Awesome.
this time I'm also looking at the I've got like the commentary from the books and reading just whenever there's like fun facts that come up in there too. But yeah, it's that's kind of what I do. I've been doing like Hive Swap, Friend Sim, and like Pester Quest and Homestuck Squared stuff as well, and that's all on the YouTube. Um, yeah, and then sometimes middle of the week I'll do like other kind of non-Homestucky games as well. But that's kind of what I'm up to. Um, my favorite kid is always really hard to pick. Um, I really love Rose. I always really loved Rose.
Ah, I
Uh,
like her too.
and Troll. Oh, I think Kanaya and Terzi are kind of like neck and neck there. I
About your
remember Terzi.
least.
I loved even like before the first time I read it, like before I even knew her name, I was like that one.
I don't know who that is, but I'm into it.
Yeah.
And what about your least favorite?
um.
Kid might be harder because there's not very many. But as far as troll, I guess.
Yeah, kids. It's just
There's not that many.
I
Yeah,
just,
it's like I don't
I just love them all so much.
know.
Troll. I don't know. I guess Aridin. just
That's respectable.
just I I the when I first read Homestuck, I was in like high school, so I felt very strong emotions about everything, and I just like there was just such a burning hatred in there for Aridin. It's kind of simmered down. I'm like, he's not my favorite, but yeah, the first time that I read it, it was like, ah.
Oh, Sneak Cat J Cat says thinking about how I always used to call Kanaya Vriska when I first started reading. I feel
Oh.
like there was some character, I don't remember who it was now, that I kept screwing up. I know I kept calling Jane, even though I hadn't even met Jane, and then
Mm.
I kept screwing up at one of the other ones. I don't remember. Eldra says Jane is my least fave. Yeah, I've heard that. Oh yeah, Equius and Aridin. That's who I kept screwing up. It's because I kept wanting to think that Aridin. For some reason, I kept thinking like Aqua Equiet. Like it sounded like fishy, so I kept wanting to call it, even though it was it's supposed to be horse-like. But for some reason, my brain just went fish with that, and then I saw Aridin, and I just thought I don't know. It was very confusing for me. Um, Vriska is my fave. Jane is my least fave. The 13th is my favorite troll. Yeah, so we're apparently about to meet the 13th troll. I don't know who this is. Like, I know. I'm trying to, like, kind of rack my brain for trolls that I know exist that I haven't met yet, but I
Mm.
think for me it's so confusing because I read Hive Swap. So it's like
Mm.
the. I can't quite remember. Yeah, I can't remember who I haven't met yet. Solix is my fave, but Tavros is the precious pig. Yeah, I think my favorite trolls are definitely uh, Karkat and then Tavros. They're I like them for different reasons. Karkat feels the most like he's like my spirit animal, and I feel like he's the most like a person I would hang out with in real life. And then uh, Tavros is just precious little cinnamon roll, and I just feel bad. I just want to protect him. Uh,
Yeah, I love Davros too.
he's so precious. Which are we not including? The 13th troll. Alpha, Beta, Jane. Yeah, I hear Jane is I don't know much about her other than I keep hearing she's somewhat problematic, is what I keep hearing. I don't really know what that is, why, but I guess we'll find out. God, who is it? I'm 13th troll. Who could it be? I'm trying to think. Maybe who haven't
Wait,
I
what's this?
met? Yeah, I can't remember. Like I've seen tons of merch, so I'm sure I've seen them on something. I just cannot think of who it could be. You've probably seen them for sure. Yeah, I mean,
Mhm.
especially if there's people's favorite. Damn. Yeah, I don't know. We'll find out.
Mhm.
Wondering about the 13th troll. Read the second panel. Wait, should I click that or am I gonna get my surprise spoiled?
I think you're okay.
I'm gonna click this
Yeah.
thing. What is this? Read the second panel.
Yeah.
Carcat. Then there was that one time where Vriska ignored all the rules and just sent everyone a goddamn doomsday machine. None of them worked. Well, almost none of them worked. You know, there used to be 13 of us. Not anymore. Thanks, Vriska. Oh. Huh. It's no spoilers. Alright,
Yeah.
so for anyone following along, it's a joke, not canon. Oh. See, I don't know. I don't know. Everything Marcus would like make jokes about different things and I just took them as fact constantly. You can't you can't mess with me. I'm just gonna believe you. I'm just gonna be like, yep, why not? And be like, anyone following along, we are on page 4114. Marcus. Um don't trust anything a Homestuck says. I don't. Don't worry. um, I always feel like the Homestuck fandom is my favorite for a lot of reasons, but it is also the most like volatile substance to be handled with care. I feel like you can just as easily do right by the Homestuck fandom as you can just like put a toe out of line and get like burned at the stake as a witch. And I'm like, so it's so scary to like do anything. All Homestucks do is eat hot chip and lie. What? Cancelled, right? You can't fight the Homestuck. Think about how John Egbert murders the entire cast over a pun. See, I don't even know if that's a lie. That could be true. I don't know. Okay, so if anyone has been following along, where we left off was we just finished Act 5. This is Act 6, which means we're almost done, right? There's only 7 acts.
Yeah,
Way close to the end here.
almost there. Just 4,000 more pages. That's just a little bit.
just a just a little nudge over the hill there. Um, so the way we're gonna do this is chamomile. You can read. Basically, you'll read all of the narration, prompts, things like that, and then as we get to Pastor logs, we can just on the fly uh, choose characters, and you've watched a bit, so. All right, let's get started.
Sounds good.
Homestuck.
Okay, Homestuck.
Oh, here we are, Miss Jane.
A young lady stands in her bedroom. It just so happens that today, the 11th of November 2011, is the date scheduled for the launch of a highly exclusive playtesting experience for a much anticipated game. She is expecting the game to be enclosed in a pair of envelopes, and printed on these envelopes, she is expecting to find her name. What do you suppose the name on the envelopes will be? Enter name. Jane Crocker.
So is
You
she
cannot.
Betty Crocker's daughter?
There is some relation. We'll find out. You cannot enter her name. It was already engraved in her honorary placronym on her 13th birthday, which was about 2.5 years ago, and has been sitting here neatly on the bookshelf ever since. Attempting to engrave it with another name after completing this sacred rite of passage is practically unheard of, and is a gesture nearly as offensive as it would be if you tried to name her something dumb like Barnstench Fartface. Luckily, she is not the sort to hold a grudge, and she will let it slide this time, as long as you hurry up and get her big day started. Examine room. Your name is Jane. As was previously mentioned, you are poised for an elite opportunity to test the Spurb Alpha. It is so elite, in fact, that you are the only of your kind invited to playtest, though you guess that probably comes with the territory of being the heiress apparent to a baked goods empire. You don't suppose it hurts that you are said empire's #1 fangirl either. It should come as no surprise that you enjoy baking, but you also adore reading detective stories. You fancy yourself a skilled prankstress, if by no other measure than lineage. Though at times you feel it's tough to fill those shoes when you are surrounded by jokers. Seriously, the shenanigans perpetrated by your pals makes your old school japes feel kind of pedestrian sometimes, but oh well, you love them all anyway. You once dabbled in amateur botany, but found it too frustrating because your vegetables keep Actually, you know what? You don't want to talk about that. You love situation comedies, whilst holding particular affection for mustachioed funny men. You know, your Foxworthys, your Funkes, your Swansons, but not necessarily your Gallaghers per se, because you have to draw the fucking line somewhere. You are also pleased to contemplate frightening fauna, though saddened by their regrettable fakeness attribute. But none of that's on your mind now, because you are psyched about this special date, 11-11-11, i.e. 2x3 prong day, whatever that means. A date exhibiting just the sort of numerical gimmick corporations love to exploit for their big releases, or for launching major rebranding initiatives. In the case of your cherished multi-global empire, both such events are slated to happen today. You can't wait to see what is in store and for the mail to come. When it does, you will waste no time embarking on the game's maiden voyage. And if even a fraction of what you've heard turns out to be true, you are prepared to have the time of your life. What will you do? Jane, quickly retrieve arms from chest. Jane is not empowered to rehash this tired running gag because all of a sudden she's too busy being the other guy. We need to figure out what this fella's name is pronto. Enter name.
I'm already weirded out by these two characters because, I mean, I guess I don't know a lot about Homestuck, obviously, but from what I know so far, it seems weird. I mean, I know everything. It's gonna be one of those things where everyone's like, Cassie, keep reading. They're gonna explain it. But the fact that these two characters already are based on has been set up as the villains. So you know, like you have the Lord English and now Jake English and Betty Crocker and Jane Crocker. It just seems weird. I don't get it. I'm just making an observation that that's weird. And he's got the Lord English on his shirt. It's weird. It's weird. Okay, continue.
Explanations will come, I promise.
Will they, though? In some fashion. I'm going to give that a hard-ish.
Jake English. Once again, you make the incalculable blunder of attempting to engrave an already allocated placronym. His name was etched when he turned 13 too, almost 3 years ago. It's been sitting here messily in this unbelievably deadly pile of guns ever since. What sort of vulgar, childish moniker were you going to stick this poor bastard with? Barf breath turd smirk? It doesn't even matter. Just tell him what to do. examine room.
Whoa, his room is intense.
There's a lot going on.
There's a lot going on in here. He has like the it's like a weird mix between like a troll room and a kid room. And it kind of looks like Jane Jade's. It's weird because it's got like the plants kind of like, wasn't that kind of how in Jade's room she had like a staircase they came up and
Mhm.
plants and then, but it kind of looks like a troll room and it's got Lucis's on this and it kind of looks like a god tier bed or like what is that? I don't know if that's what they're called, but the little
Mhm.
and yeah, it's weird. It's weird.
Yeah, it's similar. It's like Jade's bed had the four posts on it like this as well, but well, for her it was for her dream bot, right?
Oh, right. Yeah, why does his room kind of look like Jade's? That's weird. And then he's got the bunny over here, the bunny bot.
Yes, he's looks like he's working on a project on the bunny.
Oh, and he has guns kind of like Jade, too. Because he's got these like flintlock, I don't know if that's what those are, but they kind of look like flintlock pistol things. Cassie
Hmm.
is doing the Homestuck. Cassie getting super observant. Cassie doing the Homestuck thing, overanalyzing every single panel, even though she doesn't have to wait a random amount of time for the next one. I'm trying to anticipate so that I can go, aha, I knew it. What is this? Is this a. Oh, it's a gun belt. Interesting.
Hmm.
Okay, continue.
Hmm. Your name is Jake. You love movies. All movies. You would describe your taste in film as eclectic, but in truth, it isn't much less than totally indiscriminate. You bluster frequently of exuberance for firearms and fisticuffs and adventure, though have no human company with which to share these interests. But who needs chums when you can enjoy a top-notch gander of your gals of cerulean complexion? Hubba hubba. You're known to be found with your nose in a comic book or two, not that it makes you a nerd or anything, like you even care about that. Not a gent of your panache and swagger, qualities which you would bandy with aplomb on your globe-spanning adventures, hypothetically speaking. You would love to travel around the world, toppling any sacred urns you encountered. You'd be tickled by the opportunity to defile hallowed tomes everywhere, raiding them of their treasures, and how you'd give your right leg for a shot at desecrating the shit out of some real-life mystic ruins for their Byzantine wares. Luckily for your limb, there is a dandy set of such ruins nearby, and you desecrate them quite frequently. You are also troubled to contemplate frightening fauna and plagued daily by their regrettable realness attribute. What else? You sure like to wrestle. Did you mention fisticuffs yet? You know, scrums and whatnot. Also, skulls. Gosh, you love skulls. There's a good skull at the heart of any mystery, haunting its every page. That is what you always say, or at least it is what you always hope. What will you do?
Does that mean he's the page of hope?
Yes.
Ah, look at me!
There was similar hints in Jane's. Did you pick up on Jane's?
I didn't. I don't know why I'm so much more observant of this one. Like Jane's, I was just like la di da, and this one I'm like,
Jane's was just the warm up.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, you did it, Cassie. I did it. It's almost like they had to capitalize the words, and I got it. Oh shit. He seems so edgy. He's like got his skulls and his guns and his wrestling. I don't know. He's a little edgy for me. I don't know. Ooh, what's this?
Okay.
Oh,
Jake,
arms. I get it.
retrieve arms from floor. Post haste. You make a dutiful motion towards your trusty firearms, doing your part to assail the mushy carcass of a horse that passed away long ago, when suddenly a wild character select screen approaches. You really feel like you are in the driver's seat now. You can basically take this story literally anywhere, as long as you don't pick one of those shadowy characters, and as long as the panels are actually finished being drawn. It is like this whole panoramic cornucopia of limitless possibilities sprawling out before your eyes. Who do you want to be, Cassie?
I want to be her. Oh, what? That's cool. Where's she from? So she's from, what is that? Is that Canada? Maybe? I can't tell where Canada stops and the US begins. It looks like it's like
I
right at the.
live in Canada, so I should be able
Yeah,
to.
come on. Tell me. Is that Canada? You should know. I live in the US, so you think I would know. Upper New York. Really? No.
Mhm.
That's Upper New York?
But
Oh, I guess if it cuts off like right. Oh, I see. Okay. Who's this? This person
yeah,
is
because I know of where this person's house is supposed to be, but the positioning on the map has me kind of squinting without the lines.
Oh, yeah, that's the thing without the lines, it's weird. Texas maybe? Yeah, that must be Texas. Maybe?
Mm-hmm.
Where's he from? The ocean. Oh, because he's on an island like Jade.
Uh-huh.
Where's she from? She's from Washington like me.
Mm-hmm.
Aww. Is that why she's problematic? Do we have problematic people? She's probably fine. I just have a bad. She's. I have like no other context from her other than that. Washington. I love Washington. Washington is the best. I knew the answer. Canceled for being from Washington State Crimes? Washington State Crimes? I don't know what that means. And who else was from Washington?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna assume John. But
Yes.
I was not as observant before. So, like, I'm just now finally, 4,000 pages in, trying to pay attention. Can't believe I'm from the Strider state. I always found too bad that all the kids are from the US. Yeah, yeah, I could see that. I guess they could have thrown some Canada in there at least. I think maybe they wanted to make it easier or more realistic for them to meet, maybe someday. Because I mean, if they made them from like all over the world, it would have been a little bit tricky. Except the island. Oh yeah, the Lalonde state. Yeah, I guess it could have been from other countries. Are any
Mm-hmm.
of the well, that was a stupid question. Right. I was like, are the trolls from Alternia, idiot? I was found. Okay, I'm gonna do this girl because I can't. Roxy, yeah, Roxy, because I'm excited to meet Roxy. Okay, I can't click on her.
Roxy is one of the shadowy figures that we are not able to
Aw,
get.
man.
Yeah, I know.
Ugh.
Jane or Jake?
We will do. What does the chat think? I don't care. You guys tell me which one I should do. Which one's Roxy's my favorite kid. Yeah, I'm looking forward to Roxy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Roxy. I feel like Roxy and Riz are pretty well tied for me. The both of them are just like Roxy is one of the only cosplays that I've ever completed.
Oh, really? Cute. Did you drink a martini?
Oh,
Were you
no,
drunk?
I was 15.
Oh, well. Did you drink a martini?
I drank Faygo. It was at a convention. I drank Faygo.
Oh man, that's awesome.
I
I think I can only imagine how many Faygo bottles were littering the hotel rooms at conventions in these years.
oh god. Yeah,
Cassie
I was.
encourages underage drinking. I was making a joke. Actually, I didn't really. So when I was in my early 20s, I did a cosplay. Um, I've done a couple cosplays. I did one as Claire from Claymore, and I don't know if anybody here has watched that or read that. Um, but sorry, I'm getting people. But I did this Claymore cosplay, and I had just moved to Washington, and I went to so I was like 26, 25. I don't remember how old I was when I moved here. Um, but I was drinking. I went to was it KomoriCon? I think it was. Yeah, I think that's what it was called. And drank a bit at the bar there. And I just remember that's actually, long story short, how I met my now ex-husband was
Mm.
because I drank at a anime convention in cosplay. Like I was so I was like in this big cosplay and I was pretty drunk and acting belligerent and hanging out with my little sister and I like took off a lot of my cosplay and so I was just walking around in like this like white. I don't know if anyone's familiar with Claymore, but it was just like it's basically just like a white bodysuit sort of, and then armor on top
Mm.
of it. So I had taken off all my armor, and I'm just like carrying around this big sword. And there's this guy who walks by, and I thought he was cute or whatever, and I was drunk, so I reach out and I touch him, and he's dressed up as Fenris from Dragon Age.
Mm.
And I was like, oh, who are you dressed up as? Whatever. And oh, Fenris, and okay. And he leaves. And then he finds me on Facebook, like a couple weeks later, adds
Mm.
me, invites me out to a party in Seattle. I'd been like a shut-in for months because I had just got a big relationship. Decide to go to this party. Terrified. Um, the guy is late. So I show up to this party. It's like full of like really cool goth people. And I just
Mm.
felt super like I didn't know anyone. It was someone's birthday who I didn't even know.
Mm.
And I was like, well, I'm just here waiting for so and so. And they're like, well, he's not here yet. And then I met my husband. And by the time that the guy showed up, I was already all goo goo gaga eyes for
Mm.
Gus instead. And I felt bad, but not really, because that's why. And that, kids, the moral to the story is if you invite a girl to a party, better not be late, because she will marry the next man she sees, apparently. Going to a stranger's birthday, relatable. Yes. Anyway, that is
Oh.
a long digression. We are being Jake, because that was what I saw most people were into.
Mm. Oh, Jade's asking if I drank Fago. Yes,
Oh,
I've had Fago once in my life. It was just at that one convention in
really?
2012.
Do you guys not have Fago in Canada?
We do. It's just kind of hard to find. You can mostly only find it at conventions and stores, but I guess they're just more not in my area. But yeah, I actually that convention I was cosplaying as Roxy. I bought the Fago in the dealer's hall. I put it in my backpack. I opened it at lunch and like the bottle like exploded.
Oh
And
no!
it stained my skirt, my white
Oh.
skirt. But then I went to the photo shoot and I was like, oh yeah, haha, this happened. And a bunch of people were like, oh, I just thought it was like on purpose, like a wine stain or something. And I was like,
Oh
oh my
what?
god.
There you go. That's awesome. That you must have been so pissed though, and that. Oh my
I,
god, I'd be so
I
mad.
was upset and stressed out. Like me and like one friend sitting in a subway, like with like all the pop spilling all over the place.
Oh god, yeah. Any of those like cosplay, like you work so hard and then you hit like some sort of malfunction day of, or like yeah, spill something on it or it explodes. I found out that in mine I couldn't sit down, so that was
Ooh.
cool. I had to
Mm-hmm.
stand the entire day. Um, yeah, I wanted to die. But yeah,
Oh.
that is rough. I like Spin the Fago. My first boy kiss was a Dirk during Spin the Fago. That is the most Homestuck thing I've ever read.
Mm-hmm. No,
There's
I have not played Spin the Figo.
Spin the Fago. Oof. I feel like the only two people who play that are Homestucks and Juggalos. And I
Yeah.
don't know how I feel about that. And I don't know how you should feel about that. Just think about that. I need to get a troll Sona too. Sona, Sona, Sona. Okay, cool. So we're being Jake.
Yes. Be Jake. Okay. And just like that, back to Jake. What was it you were up to? Oh, right, you were going to pick up these dang guns off the floor when you were interrupted by some fleeting, imperceptible thought. You kind of space out sometimes. Jake, about those arms. Strife specimens 2 times pistol kind. Right. You pick up your twin M9 Berettas, weapons of choice in an absurd arsenal inherited from an eccentric old woman. Guns are so cool. Your grandma was rad.
I like this. The Juggalo Homestuck Venn diagram is a singular circle. Oh, that's funny. Okay.
There is a lot of overlap, yeah.
Just question your life choices for a second, at least.
Okay, Jake, examine holster belt. It is your authentic Tomb Raider sexy thigh strap double holster, complete with cool skull buckle and everything. You like to think you pull it off as well as Croft herself. Jake, wear it. You like to think that, but in truth, you look ridiculous. You think you probably need shorter shorts to make it work? Probably skin-tight shorts, too. As it is, the cuffs of your baggy shorts kind of get bunched up underneath the thigh straps, which is uncomfortable and makes you look like a tool. Jake, okay, forget it. Better off just keeping it in your Strife deck. You can draw the guns faster from there anyway. Jake, examine bed. You think your bed is some sort of electronic gadget. You're pretty sure those bedpost globes are supposed to glow like light bulbs under certain circumstances, but you've never been able to figure out what purpose it serves. Just more mysterious junk inherited from your eclectic grandma. She also gave you these bed sheets when you were very young, which you adore, but only for sentimental reasons. You aren't too keen on the monsters.
Is his grandma Jade?
Yes!
I did it!
Yeah!
I did it! You did it! Yay! Remember Jade's pen pal. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, you did have a that was green text, but then you guys were like, it's not Jade. Rev Dave. Who said Jade was his grandma? Me. Wait. Yeah, me? Wait,
Yeah.
who said?
Jade.
You beat Homestuck. I won. Hell yeah, another A. No, the pen pal.
Oh, the pen pal. Mm-hmm. That might be a different situation.
Okay, now I'm confused again. I lost Homestuck again. It comes and it goes. Also, the new Tomb Raider games, if you guys haven't played them, are really good. Tomb Raider 1, the reboot was free on Steam recently. I don't know if it still is, but it's very good, the reboot. Okay.
Oh, yes, the pen pal said Jade was his grandma.
The pen pal said Jade was his grandma. Oh, okay. See, I would have remembered that if I could remember the things that happen in Homestuck. Okay, we're gonna look at these posters.
Okay, Jake, examine posters.
Blue women, apparently.
Which posters? Your whole room is nothing but posters. Sometimes you find it hard to focus on any one of them. You just relax your eyes and get lost in all the incredible heroes and adventures which exploded from the silver screen and into your bedroom as well as your heart. Movies are so great. You have never seen a movie you didn't like, you are pretty sure. People give you a hard time for that, though. Gosh, you love movies. Almost as much as you love skulls. And movies that have skulls in them? Oh my god. So wonderful. Jake, scope out those blue chicks. This is your collection of beauties. But you don't call them that to anyone but yourself in private, because somehow even you are that sound. You are oft times the recipient of a good ribbing from Jane on account of peculiar fascination with movie ladies. You don't have to justify yourself to her, though. What is even her deal? Any fellow would be off his rocker not to fawn over all these bodacious blue knockouts. You want to make out with all of them.
He needs to chill. He needs to chill. The time-traveling demon poster there was made specifically to be on Jake's wall. Oh, yeah, I was just looking at that. I was, like, not sure, because all the rest look like normal movie posters, and then this was something I didn't recognize. It looks like Groot right there, but I don't think that's what that is.
That is neat. I didn't know that. I hadn't actually read it before. That's cool.
Oh, it's a skull. Oh, it's hard to tell in that picture. Homestuck is legion. It possesses us all as soon as we finish reading it. The only way to stop is to produce more Homestuck content forever until no one can finish it all. Let me tell you about Homestuck.
Yeah.
Oh my god, you're gonna make out with these? Don't make out with Avatar. That's a bad place to start. I'm not even sure that's like a human. We're like crossing into some weird quasi-furry kinning territory here.
Jake, make out with all of them. Dear sweet Neytiri from James Cameron's Avatar. Oh, if only you were the one who could overcome his paralysis on an alien adventure planet to become her boyfriend instead of that other guy. Then she would have shown you how to be bold and courageous and stand up to fight for your people, and maybe later engage in a bizarre extraterrestrial reproductive process involving ponytails and the magic tree, you guess? You'll show that curmudgeonly Strider who's just a gigantic shitty space furry.
See, furry. Oh, he's like inherited. Is like being a furry genetic? Because that is an upsetting correlation? Avatar sounds like Tavros and Vriska. Neytiri? Is that how you say her name? Neytiri?
Yeah, Neytiri.
Coincidence? I don't know about that. I think being a furry is genetic. That's what we found out here today. For whatever implications that has, I'll let you figure those out.
Then she could have shown you how to be bold and down a paragraph, pardon me.
Oh.
You will show him what marvelous they are. You'll show him what a daring dream it is to combine the finest qualities of humanity with... But seriously, you have got to stop kissing this stupid poster. Jake, stop kissing stupid poster. Yes, that was a waste of time. Definitely. It's definitely not something you spend much time doing whenever you are alone, which is always. Anyway, here are some other great movies. Weekend at Bernie's? Classic. You really think John would like this movie, if the things you've heard about him are true. Guys in cahoots make the silly corpse of Bernie Lomax do zany puppet antics so their schemes can succeed. Guffaws aplenty, as you've tried to tell Jade before, practically verbatim. She doesn't much care for great movies like that, but that's all right. You love her anyway, and you think she's a blast. She says you sound just like John when you say stuff like that, though, and that the two of you would get along famously. You can't wait to meet him. Also, there are some cage flicks in there, but who doesn't love a good cage flick? Nobody's who. Dang, you would kill to get your hands on some authentic Cage movie memorabilia, but that'll probably have to remain a crazy dream.
That is, so now I'm extra confused because he's calling Jade by name, but not referring to her as his grandma, and also talking about John. But assuming that they're all on the same timeline, but I thought they. Is this like some time shenanigans?
Well,
I'm
you're
confused.
assuming that they're all in the same timeline.
But then how does
Yeah.
he? Oh, maybe they're chatting from the future and the past? Does he not know Jade as his grandma? I guess? Because he's calling her Jade, but he's also referring to his grandma and saying that he's got things from his grandma.
Mm-hmm. Well, because the timeline he's in right now, it can't be the same timeline as the game because Jade grew up on Earth to be his grandma and did not enter the game in this timeline, right? Yeah,
Uh,
so Eldritch is talking about the scratch, right? Do you remember the rules of what the
oh,
scratch did?
can you remind me?
So when they scratched the game, what it did was it switched the timing of the meteors. So now we have, Jade instead of Grandpa Harley, it's Grandma Jade. So the meteors switch places. So I feel like I'm not explaining this right. Um, because I'm trying to walk the fine line of like explaining it, but also not accidentally saying something.
there, there will come a point
But
when Rose just straight up explains everything with helpful graphs.
yes. Oh,
Oh.
see, that's the panel I was picturing. I'm pretty sure is from that section of the comic. So
Oh. He's referring to Jane, but not Jade by name.
he's
But he's calling her Jade, not Jane.
mm-hmm.
He's calling her John, not. Okay. I'm overthinking it. It's going to be explained, right? It's going to be explained. The parents became the kids,
Mm-hmm.
and the kids became the parents?
Basically,
Interesting.
or
Sort of.
yeah. In
Hard-ish. Where do you say Jade? Right
When did he
here.
say? In the he
In the text right
said,
here.
as you have tried to tell Jade before, practically verbatim. It's like the middle of the yeah.
Yeah, so he's calling her Jade.
Mm-hmm.
And then he also talks about John, but
Oh, the next. I just realized the next panel is examine package, and that may or may not clear a few things up about this.
I probably will. Let's click on it.
uh, God, I do this all the time in my streams too. I'll just be like
You're like, but what?
going on, and then literally the next page is exactly what I was just talking about. Okay. Jake, examine package. Speaking of John, this is his birthday present. It is the project that has been taking up all of your time lately, and today is the deadline to finish it. You have to send it to Jade so that she has time to ship it to him across the Pacific Ocean. The transmaterializer you have been using to ship it back and forth is wired to sync up your flow of time with hers, so it's not like you can just take forever with it and send it to the exact time she needs it. You've thought of that. And considering this bunny is probably going back to the early 20th century when she and John were around your age, you figure the mail was extra slow back then, so there is not a moment to spare. Woo, time stuff is pretty complicated, but you are fairly sure you got this figured out.
Wait, so sent it to Jade, so she has time to ship it to him. Wired up to. She and John are around your age. Is he just calling Jade by name even though it's his grandma? Because he knows that she is older here, because he talks about like how when they were your age.
Mm-hmm.
So, Jake thinks
Jake
he's.
thinks that because like the bunny he's talking about John's birthday gift. We see this in Act 5 when John gets it, right?
Oh, right. Jake thinks he's sending it back in time to his young grandma, but we know from Act 5 that's actually 2009 Jade. But
Mm-hmm.
that is his grandma, right? I mean,
Yeah.
in
So
some weird way.
so it's yeah, he thinks that he's been sending it back and forth with the version of Jade that's his grandma in this timeline, but he's actually been sending it back and forth with the Jade that we know from the comic
Oh, so it's not
from
Jade,
the other
it's the
time.
version of Jade. His
So
grandma Jade
it's
grew up in the 1900s. Oh,
yeah.
so I see.
So that's where he's getting the confusion. He isn't, which is of course the whole joke about, oh, you're fairly sure you've got this all figured out, but he's not entirely correct.
He's not sending it to his grandma at all. He's sending it to Jade. But in kind of,
Mhm.
he kind of is sending it to his grandma in a weird roundabout way.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I think I
like
barely get a fraction of it. You're relying on Jake English having correct information, which he very much does not.
yeah, basically, he's unreliable narrators all the way down.
Schrodinger's Jade. He's both Jade and not Jade. Time is an illusion. The Jade he interacts with is the same one we know, but the grandma he talks about we haven't met yet.
yeah.
Oh, also unrelated, I went to a little Mexican food mart the other day. My friend who's staying with me taught me how to make enchiladas, and I got these, and they're really good. If you ever see these, you should pick them up. I don't. They're called Donitas, and they have a weird rabbit on them, and they limon and salt, and they're delicious. Um, sorry, they're just like sitting by my thing. They kind of taste like I don't know if you ever had those like French fry bagged French fries. You know, like they're like in a chip bag, but they're French fries. That's kind of what they taste like. Sorry, total digression. My professor keeps finding mistakes in his notes while lecturing and fixing them in real time. Oh, he's doing his darndest. Takis are good too. Yeah, actually, I just threw away a bag of empty Takis that I ripped through last night. Guacamole Takis and some queso ruffles. This quarantine has been bad for me. Being, I've like got on so many bad habits, like junk food, and it's just not good. Um, Bunny. Yes. Okay. Sorry.
Jake, examine Bunny. Sure is gonna be a sweet gift. Reminds you a lot of the old ratty bunny you inherited, Grandma, who is exactly who you are collaborating to make this thing. Time loops make you feel a bit fuzzy in the head, but you've always suspected it could very well be the same bunny. At some point in the early 20th century, Jade gave this Robo-Rabbit to John, and then later it must have wound up back with Jade somehow, and then she removed all the robot parts, hung onto it until she was an old woman, and gave it to you. You guess crazier things have happened, like the way this whole project started in the first place. Jay tells you this little rabbit here, or Terry Kaiser as you like to call him, will save John's life. He will be sitting there on some sort of chessboard battlefield in yellow pajamas reading a letter when, pow! Kaiser to the rescue. So you are taking this responsibility very seriously. You have been for years already. In fact, this project gave you a neat idea for what to do for Jane's 13th birthday a couple years ago. You and your other pals all coordinated gifts, each sending a customized rabbit. Lalonde happened to have another bunny heirloom like yours, and Strider, well, Strider was resourceful as usual. If John enjoys his gift, if John enjoys his gift anywhere near as much as Jane did, then it will be time well spent. So,
The bunny.
mm-hmm. So did that clarify, or are you still confused?
Uh, so he made the bunny,
Mm-hmm.
the Robo Bunny, because there was a version of that bunny, because they're talking about that she made, which is it's like this is the rose part with the stripes, and then this was the part that he got from at the beginning when he first opened it. It had this from Dirk from oh, so that was the Dirk Dave Dave
So
Dave version, and then the Jade version was the bot. So this is like all three of them, and then I guess he put it together.
so the bunny that the project started as, he mentions that he gets it from Jade, because like if we go back into Act 5, and you remember when John did the ectobiology, and all of the babies were kind of sitting with something or other.
Oh
Like there
God,
was
I
the
don't
whole
remember.
flash where he like shoves the baby bunnies at little Rose and Jade.
Oh, barely
So
remember. It just feels so
that was
long
Act
ago.
4. Oh, whoops. That was Act 4. Turns out I was incorrect. It was, yes, it was the best flash. It was very good.
Where John
Yeah,
was
and
oh,
John
I
was
do remember
singing
John
to them.
singing. I do remember
Yes.
that. Okay.
Oh my god, of course that was Act 4. Anyway, sorry, I'm just trying to align the time stuff in my own head. But yeah, so that was, when they got sent off on the meteors, they had those items with them, right? So this, before all of the robo parts, this bunny was the one that Jade had with her on the meteor when she came to Earth. So, and it's got like the additions to it because that was, John had like Rose's birthday gift for him and he gave it to Jade. So that's technically, yes, this is the one that Rose modified, sent back in time with Jade. Jade gave it to Jake, and then they started adding the robot parts and passing it back and forth through time to modify it to make the bunny to give to John that he gets on the battlefield, etc.
Oh my heavens. This is, this bunny is so complicated. This bunny is like the missing link of the timelines of Homestuck. It ties it all together, yet also just confuses everybody. And by everybody, I mean me. It's pretty crazy. Okay. I kind of get it.
Okay.
Wait till you learn about the puppet. Oh
Oh
Lord.
God.
Are you talking about the uh what is going on with my brain today? What's the what's the puppet's name? Oh my God.
Cal?
Cal. Jesus. Hey, hey. Oh God, Cal. He's also not native English speaker, so sometimes he's such a nice thing. Good luck with that. Hee hee hoo hoo. Ha ha. Okay. Let's see what this pile of computer parts, right? That's what I'm looking at here.
Well, there's the two on the top we can recognize from, if you can think all the way back to like would it be Act 3? I think it would be Act 3, Jade's introduction.
Oh heavens.
It's the cookalizer in the refrigerator from way back.
Oh yeah, totally remember that thing. The refrigerator and the cookalizer. That's a thing I remember from Act 1,000 years ago. Doc Scratch was created from Cal. I really want to see. I'm really tired of Homestuck teasing me with things I want to know and then just boring me with exposition. I want to know who the 13th troll is. I want to know what the arms burst out and it turned into Lord English. I want to know what's going on there. Here we are digging through junk in this dude's room who's missing his posters. Just upsetting. There's an echo. Yeah, it's just because I think Chamomile sometimes they'll come through with their speakers. You're starting Homestuck
All
all
right, I'll
over.
turn my speakers down a little bit.
You gotta get through another 5 acts before you get there. Shut up! I know that's not true. That's not even a joke.
It's
Wait,
not a joke.
what? 5 acts, but there's only 2. Oh, I gotta get
Uh,
through 5 acts before 413. I have just a few days. I'm literally not joking.
yeah. Well, because you
Uh,
remember Act 5 had Act 5, Act 1, and Act 5, Act 2, right?
oh, for heaven's sakes.
So, Act 6.
For heaven's sakes. Acts. Well, it's a joke, but not yours. You underestimate how many acts one hussy can fit into one act. Ay, ay, caramba. Ay, caramba. You can actually see a 13th troll briefly just before Cascade. Really? I'm gonna click on this. I'm gonna click on this. What? You're lying! Oh, is it the hand? Also, I'm gonna show everyone this again because this is just a great. I want to get back to this part. I missed this part. This might have been one of my favorite sequences of uh, panels. Was Karkat calming Gamzee down? No, that's not. Is that John? That's John's arm, isn't it?
Maybe.
The only reason I know that is because somebody submitted something to FanForge and it says John's arm and it's an arm.
Ah.
And so therefore I got I mean I don't know what that means or why John's sticking his arms all over Homestuck.
Mm-hmm.
But I do remember seeing that arm early in Homestuck, like really early.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't
Yeah,
know what
it
it means.
pops up in some weird places.
13th troll is John. You know, ew, there's an ant in my coffee.
Ooh.
Ugh. It's getting into the season of sugar ants, guys.
Mm.
The dildo.
Yeah, I get.
Yeah, it looks like a dildo. Do you get sugar ants?
Yeah, we get ants in my house in the summer.
Oh, it's the worst. Do you get the little tiny
Ugh.
ones or the big
Yeah,
fatty ones?
kind of a mix.
Oh, that's even worse.
Yeah, we get the variety pack. How very fun.
Lucky you. Yeah, I get those little ones. As long as I kind of curve them, it's like they get to the point where like you leave like one potato chip out on a plate and it's like game fucking over. And you
Ooh.
like turn your head and look back and it's just like swarming in ants. You're like, are you fucking kidding me? Yeah, once a few get in, it's just ay, ay, ay. Just wait until
Mm.
Cassie finds out about the 14th. Wait, is there a 14th troll? Don't lie to me now. I'll believe you. I'm like a gullible little Homestuck baby. You could tell me that there's a 27th troll, and I'd just be like, okay, let's get there. Maybe the 13th troll is Hussy. Wait, do you have to finish Homestuck by 413? Oh. So my original goal was to finish Homestuck by 413. I started, God, a couple months ago now, 2.5, 3 months ago, and I was like barely gonna make it, maybe. And then, but that was when I was streaming Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Now I'm only streaming
Mhm.
Tuesday, Thursday, so about the time that changed over, I just gave up hope on making it to. And then I was thinking, oh, I'm gonna hit Cascade by then, but then I hit Cascade a little earlier. Um, so as a reminder, I will be doing a midnight stream, 412, um, leading into 413, and anybody who is a guest on the show is invited into that stream. It'll be like a big 413 party
Yay.
leading in there. Yeah, and then on 413, I'm going to be doing a stream. We're going to be actually reading Problem Sleuth. Problem Sleuth. I don't know why that's hard to say for me. Um, and doing sock puppet theater. I have to make my sock
Oh
puppet.
my god.
I was gonna make a sock puppet that's a MSPA reader, but like a couple of my coworkers wanted to join in, and so we're gonna do like a multi camera sock puppet problem sleuth stream.
Oh, that's so good.
Yeah, I don't know anything about problem sleuth. Um, I figured we're gonna have 3 puppets because it was confusing because we didn't know what puppets to make. That we were gonna do puppets for Homestuck, but I was like, dude, I don't know where I'm gonna be at that time, so we can't like plan for it. And So I was like, people have been saying I should read Problem Sleuth, so we'll just do that. And so we're doing an Andrew Hussey puppet, a Problem Sleuth puppet with a little hat, and then an MSPA reader puppet. Um, and it will be finished by 6/12. Yeah, maybe. Maybe.
Hmm.
I don't know. That's a little at the rate this is going. I think it'll be closer to like finished by 11/11 at this rate.
Mm.
If I'm only halfway through and you have to think that for the first like 3 weeks I was reading every day.
Mm-hmm.
So at that rate, I would say 11/11, finished by 10/25. What's 10/25? Is
Oh,
that a
right.
Homestuck day?
10/25 was the day that Cascade came out.
Oh,
Yeah.
interesting.
So if you go to the page for Cascade on the website, it's actually like the timer at the top. It says 10:25.
Oh, 413 plus 612.
Mm-hmm.
If you're reading the epilogues, Homestuck 2, next 413. Judging by it taking 35 days to get to this part. Yeah, exactly. Don't forget about the
Yeah.
secret 420th troll. Isn't that Gamzee, pretty much? I mean, that's pretty much Gamzee, right? He's the 420 troll. I keep seeing all these memes. They were like people being sad. They're like, oh, we have a whole month of 420 and we're all stuck inside. Ha, suck it, stoners. Sorry. Okay, let's continue.
Mm. There's just one problem. Mr. Kaiser here cannot be completed and tested today without a source of power. You will need a little chunk of uranium to power the robot, and you are fresh out of the stuff. You have been plundering all of your devices for uranium to refuel the transmaterializer, which requires huge amounts of power anytime it sanctificates or purifies the package from the past. Seems to you like excessive energy consumption for just a simple time machine, but what do you know? Unless it's doing something besides shipping it across time. You couldn't imagine what, though. You really should have remembered to ask Jade for some uranium in the last letter to her. Now you're in a fix. You've even yanked the uranium out of your cookalizer and refrigerator. You haven't had a decent meal in just a lot of canned food from the ruins. This project has been difficult enough as it is without the additional bumps in the road like this. You aren't really the best guy at building machines. Jade has been a big help, but she says she couldn't do it alone. As much as it troubles your pride to admit, this project wouldn't be possible without help from your other two technologically savvy friends. And you are slowly coming to the regrettable conclusion that you will not be able to solve this uranium dilemma without asking for Strider's assistance. He's your best bro and all, but the dude never makes anything easy. Jake, take Bunny. And there's his hot mess of a Silodex.
Oh, Silodex. I hate you. The Silodex is that thing that I've just like decided that I will never quite understand. To a like of all things Homestuck that like I get the concept sort of, of like that it's like an inventory management system and that they're all weird and complicated and I'm kind of getting it. Um, Speaking of which, this I saw. You guys might be interested to know as far as like product developments coming up. I saw somebody bringing up the what is this? What is this? What is this called? This is what's this card called? It's a what's the
Oh,
word?
the capture log card?
Captcha. Yeah. So someone brought up the Captcha wallet again.
Mm.
Seeing if that was something that we would be able to make. And then somebody said, should we make this into an Ida bag instead?
Ooh.
And it was my opinion that it should stay a wallet if we can afford to do it.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm curious what you guys think. Like, because I thought an Ida bag is a little more niche. And An Ita bag? It's here, I'll show you. It's ITA. It's like a bag. They're very cute. This is an Ita bag. So they're kind of popular in kind of the weeby fandoms in particular. For pin collecting and trinket collecting, they have like a window on them, and you put your pins and little knickknacks and collectibles. I would have wanted to see Jade's other Silodex options. So if they fall off, you don't lose them. Yeah, but they're a little bit. I mean, I thought it was a cute idea, but I feel like I would prefer having a wallet if we could do it. Because a wallet, I don't know. I mean, what do you think? Would you think a wallet or an Ita bag would be a more interesting idea? Like, if you're talking about taking the captcha log card and making it into a product, what would make more sense to you?
Mm, I guess so. I guess a wallet would have a little more longevity to it
Yeah,
because the Ita bags are more trendy. But I think that the Ita bag idea is it's cute as well. But yeah, the wallet would probably have a little more longevity to it. I
yeah,
can just picture, like the little capsule card, and it's like, oh yeah, this is all of the stuff that I have in my little thing. It's cute.
yeah, yeah. We'll see if it ends up. The other question I had, sorry to like take us off track. I wanted to get your guys' opinion. We're looking at making another Homestuck calendar. We didn't do one this last year for 2020 because we knew 2020 was going to be such a dumpster fire that, no, I'm just kidding. We didn't do we didn't prophesize how shitty this was. Really, we didn't make one because they didn't, when the one we did before didn't sell as well as the ones prior, and so they weren't feeling confident that we should make another one. But then everyone was like, "Where's our calendar?" And so like, "Okay, we're gonna make one now." Um, but wallets are getting used less. Who doesn't use a wallet? Where do you put your money? Sorry, I just
Yeah,
like,
no, that
do people not? Are we beyond money now? Wallets are something
I
everyone has already.
hmm.
On a card? I mean, yeah, but where do you put your card? Do
Oh,
you all
phone
use it?
case.
Oh. See,
Yeah,
okay, so I've seen those, but those freak me out because, like, can you imagine losing? I feel like I need to split up. Maybe I'm just, like, getting older or something, but, like, I'm too scared to put everything, like, all my eggs in one basket. Like, if I put because imagine if you lost your phone, right?
yeah. No, I'm the same. I can't imagine. Like, I don't understand the concept of having everything in that one little.
Yeah, like you lose your phone and now somebody has your phone, your ID, your credit
Hmm.
cards, your like what? That's so risky. Like
Yeah.
I have 6 cards. I can't fit that in a phone case.
Hmm.
Yeah. I can't even I get nervous about seeing people who don't carry a purse,
Mm.
or like I mean, I guess like a lot of like dudes and stuff like that just, carry a wallet, but even that like or like friends of mine who don't carry purses. Like I'm not necessarily like a purse person, but I can't imagine a life where I just threw a wallet in my back pocket and that felt like
Like
okay.
enough. Like
Uh-huh.
I'm a backpack person. I have a little backpack. It's
Me
got my
too.
water bottle. It's got my snacks. It's
Oh,
like anytime I leave the house.
yep. That's I'm kind of the same way. Like I can't imagine just being like, "Yep, I just got my wallet and my keys." Like I'm like, "No, I need my wallet and my keys. I need a pack of gum. I need like, some extra tissues and like a change purse and I like I have all this stuff. I just
Yeah.
and what if you lose your wallet and your phone? I don't know. I'm too nervous for
Mm.
that. I digress. Calendar.
Um,
So I was thinking, so we want to do a 14-month calendar, so that it would go through 2021. Why is my child yelling? And then 2 months into 2022. Sorry, it's hard to think that far ahead at this point. Um,
ooh,
I
yeah.
was thinking about theming it with lands, So, like, each month has a land, because there's 12 lands, right? I think.
Well, there's the 12 troll lands and then the 8 kid lands and then
Ah.
one more that you haven't seen yet.
What's up, Buttercup? Sometimes he communicates and just giggles. What's up? But I'm curious. Two things, I guess. Here, do you want to sit here for a sec? Oh, heavens. First of all, what do you think a good theme would be for the calendar? 'Cause, I mean, I was thinking lands, but now that doesn't, maybe that's a little more complicated. Or would you rather see like an ancestors calendar, an all ancestors, since people seem to like that? We did a troll one,
Mm-hmm.
and that was kind of fun. I don't know, like what themes do you guys think sound fun, like for a calendar? Or should there be a theme? Should it just be a free for all? I don't know, I just think a theme sounds cool. Class specs? Ancestors?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Ancestors. You could put it on a poll vote. Yeah, maybe we'll put it on a poll vote on Twitter. You like the quack, quack, quack? Yeah? How many? 2? 3? Yeah. Class specs is a cool idea. Aspects. Well, we did the aspects zine, which was, oh my god, it's so cool. Dude, I should order one. I don't know why I didn't order one. How many? How many? Oh, 1. Extended Zodiac. Okay, I'm just gathering these. Actually, I'm going to write these down really quick, because maybe we'll do a poll. I'll ask. Here, can you sit over there for a second? Baby. Here, I need you to get down. Honey, 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 I can't have you quack, quack, quacking. I don't think I'll be able to deal with it. Here, honey. Mama's working. There you go. I know. Okay. I'm going to write this down really quick. This is my pen. Just 14 pages of hussy. Oh my god. Horse calendar. Extended so we have extended Zodiac. Class specs. Aspects. Is there a difference between aspects and class specs?
Aspect is like just the end part, but class spec would be like including the class, like page of hope or like air of breath, whereas the aspect would just be like breath, hope.
Oh, okay. So class specs, aspects, Luci. That'd be cute. Oh, that would be so cute. Or pet, Luci pets, like an animal calendar. Ancestors, and I feel like ancestors would make some really cool. Oh my god. Sorry, he's been on the baby shark thing like real hard the last week. Anime pro planet. Oh, planets. What did you say? So is it just you just call it planets? Is that different from lands?
I think they mean the same.
Okay, so same. Horses with anime shades. A whole calendar of that. You know, see, this is the thing, God Skills TV. I will not take note of that, because what will happen is that I will include that in the poll, and everyone will vote for it. And then I'll have to make this calendar. And it will be an entire calendar of sexy horses and aqueous fan art. And you guys will not buy it. And I will need to explain, exactly, Harsha. And I will need to explain why we made this calendar. And the blood will be on my hands while you guys are giggling about what a funny thing you made me do. And we'll have like 2,000 Equius calendars that nobody wants. Okay, well, Emmy, you get to buy all 2,000 of them. A calendar of Equius. I'm up for it. Oh my god. Ay vey. So, as funny as that would be, you would not buy it. You guys would not buy that calendar. And we'd have to like spray it with something that smelled bad. Hi, honey. Oh, cutie pie. The other question I had is, uh, and this actually answers your question, Mellow Song, about how to be involved in the calendar. That's actually what's taking me so long to get this, because historically what I've done is just kind of reach out to people because I just don't have a ton of time. So what I'll do is just go through a bunch of portfolios on Tumblr or wherever and pick artists who I feel would be appropriate for like a big landscape picture, because some artists are like really good at character art, but not so good at like, something that incorporates like a background and a whole scene. So usually that's what I do is I'll go out and I'll just curate, and I'll pick 12, 14 people who I feel like would be good for it. I would like to find a way to open it up this year too, because I realize that I don't always know, like I'm not always going to see. I'd like to give more people a chance to show me that, they're able to do this and like basically put an app in. And I don't know if I'll do it like we did for Aspects, where I like have a thing where people can send their portfolio and then we curate down, kind of like I did when we were making the Aspect zine with Errol. That was a lot of work. So I'm kind of debating if that's what's gonna. Yeah, yeah, I get that. I'm shit at background landscape. Yeah, that's the thing, is like sometimes people are like, oh, like I'm like, you're such a good artist, but then like I know personally I could never draw like a calendar image, because like I can draw character art okay, I guess, but yeah, I'm so bad at backgrounds. I couldn't fill a whole page. Do you remember, can you release the font that was used in the 2019 calendar? Oh, the hi honey bun. That's the Nils, I need you to give me some space, honey. I'm working, okay? Um, that's the Alternian font. No, I cannot release that font. that is proprietary information. Uh, okay. Anyway, sorry, I digressed a little hard. I wanted to get your guys' opinion on some of that stuff. Um, but that's kind of where I'm at with that. So yeah, keep an eye on our Twitter, you guys, because I'm gonna actually talk to our social person today and see if they can throw out that poll option. A felt calendar. That might be cool, but do you really think that the felt is popular enough that you'd want a whole calendar over a calendar of like Luci or Ancestors? Like if you had the Ancestors calendar and a felt calendar, which one would you choose? It would be cool, but like realistically, yeah, see, you'd choose the Ancestors calendar. Yeah. It would be cool, but I just feel like it's a little bit more of a niche thing. Exactly. It would be cooler art probably. But yeah, just keep hit me up if you have any suggestions. Also, you can add suggestions onto the Twitter post. I'm gonna have them do like an other and be like list below, and then that way we can kind of see what the general consensus is, and I can go from there. But at least I have an idea of what you guys. Ancestors fits 12. God, that would be cool though, an Ancestors calendar. Think about the art in that.
Mm-hmm.
Game Bro calendar.
Game Pro calendar. Yeah, I've just been quietly contemplating and not contributing much because I'm super biased. I would probably prefer
What would you
whatever.
want?
I've loved all of the calendars. I'm looking at them. I have 2017 to 2019. I took the staples out at the end of the year and cut them up and like put them up as posters.
Nice. They're such
So,
good. I think to be honest, like I love all the art from all the calendars, but for
mm-hmm.
some reason, I think my favorite art from any of them is Sepulchro. I don't know why, and I don't know if I'm just particularly biased to just loving Baban's, like hers or their style. Um, uh, just speaks to me for some reason. But yeah, Seppuku is for some reason just like is just I don't know. It's just my favorite of all of them for some just the composition and
Mm-hmm.
the subject matter, and I don't know. I just really really liked it, and the color. Yeah, it's perfect to me.
Yeah, it is. It's so detailed.
Yeah, that's Baban's art is always super. Yeah, if you get a chance to check out her or their, I don't want to assume, their streams, they have a Twitch and stuff like that. But I always like watching them work. Like this Fairy art that they did was just like incredible. I don't know, all their art is just like so pretty. I always meant to get all the calendars, but I only ended up with one of them. Oh, on top of the wallet, what about one of those cool 2D bags, but based on a captcha log card? Yeah, but think about how expensive. I mean, we make a bag like that that's not just like an Eda bag, but like an actual bag. You're looking at like a $50 bag. I mean, really, realistically. And no one's gonna buy it. Oh, wait. Hold on. I gotta see what the child needs. Where? Where's the child? What do you need, honey? What's up? Do you need something? 'Cause I gotta get back to work. I gotta read. Here. Why don't you go hang out? Do you have snacks? Yeah. You have.
You can own it. It's an old one, so rip them up and hang them as posters. I fully endorse that idea, but I will give a warning since having done that, I have like basically no wall space left at all.
That's the way you do it. Dude! Not into it. Okay. Sorry. He's been extra bossy lately. Oh my god, I got here in time. I'm a lurker but knows something. One of the streams, and it killed me. I was too late to talk about it until just now. So, remember the panel of Karkat's ancestor with the arrows? Yes. Everyone was like, okay, Jesus troll, but also that panel's art really looks like it was referencing or based off artistic representations of the shooting of Saint Sebastian. Half the paintings of him are positioned with his arms chained upward. Oh! I gotta look that up. Shooting of... I'm into that. Shooting of Saint Sebastian. Oh. Yeah, you're right. Looks like that's kind of a theme. Yeah, maybe. It's definitely could be referencing that. Yeah, like I wouldn't sell my internal organs for Homestuck merch. I just got really excited by noticing a possible reference. Yeah, it could be. That's a cool reference. You get an A+ on classy references for that one. Dirk and Eridan one? Kind of get Dirk and Eridan one. I don't remember that one. I gotta look back at them now that I understand more of the references, because before they're just so out of context. I'm like, oh, I don't know, it's pretty. All right, we will start here. I've like totally got us off track. We are at this fetch modus puzzle. So his modus is the puzzle modus, is what we're finding out.
You stash Terry in your puzzle modus. It's quite a handy modus, allowing you to capture objects of any size, as long as you can fit them all in the finite space by maneuvering the cards around like a big game of Tetris. You like it because it keeps you sharp for solving any puzzles you might find when you go out raiding hallowed tomes, which is never. The bunny fits in okay, but it's a tight squeeze.
Nels, go sit down. If you're going to listen to the bear went over the mountain 5 times. Honey. Here. Honey. Please. Sit. Just sit. There you go. Just sit there. Relax. Okay.
Okay. The space in your inventory is mainly hogged up by one incredibly huge thing. You guess you should get rid of it, but you can't shake the feeling you might need it someday, and you don't want to risk ditching it and be caught with your pants down later.
That's a huge thing.
Shit, I forget what it is. I think I know. I think I know. I probably know. Jake, examine comics. On your work table, there are a few comics starring your favorite heroine of all, Spider Girl. You don't know what it is, but there's something about a girl who has spidery powers and a sassy attitude that is just so cool to you. It's just another quirky fact about you that definitely doesn't have any greater significance and never will.
Oh, he likes Friska. Ha ha! Ha ha! Took me a second to get there in my head.
Jake, take comics. Ah, horse feathers. Forcing the comics into your puzzle Sylladex knocked out a bunch of other crap. You have seriously got to reorganize this thing. What were you even thinking, capture-logging all those bullets one at a time anyway? Wait, what the hell? Well, as long as one of your preposterously numerous computers has spilled out of your Sylladex, you might as well stop procrastinating and contact Strider to... Hang on. Maybe later.
Oh, who are these people? Who's... Okay, wait, I have to add to my list. Oh, my desk is a mess. Okay, let's see. Where's my list of... Is this one? Yeah, this one will work. Nils, enough, honey bun. Nils, stop spinning my chair. You see those little hands on top of my chair. It's them, the 13th troll. Honey, you need to give me space, okay? I'm working, and I'll be done later, but I can take a break in a little bit. So you need to chill, okay? I'm sorry. You have snacks? Oh, by the way, found out he's not going back to school until September, so that's cool. Yeah, they're keeping all the kids out for the rest of the year. Like, that's freaking stellar. No, stop, honey. Okay. So we have you, and GT. So GT, I'm assuming is Jake English.
Indeed.
And you, we don't know yet. So describe Yu's personality.
Okay. Yu is cheery.
Cheery. That's
yes, she's
very sweet.
Very sweet. She's very caring. Very caring and kind.
Interesting. I can't think of who the crap this could be. I cannot reach into my very limited Homestuck knowledge and dang, I don't know why I can't think of it. Writes fanfic. Nice. Fanfic. So for Jake, his personality is like how does he talk? Like how is he like he's British?
Well, he's Jake. Yeah, I'm trying to tiptoe around spoiler territory. But Jake just like when you go through this, it's very clear like he old timey slang, so to speak.
Okay, so he's kind of
Like just a glance over, I see the word
boondoggle.
doggle. Yeah.
Oh,
His greeting is ahoy, madam.
weird. Jolly, old-timey, British coded.
Yeah,
Cassie,
he
you're
uses a
begging
lot
for
of
spoilers.
what's the right term for it? I don't think it's idioms, but it might be.
Idioms is like uh, a chip off the old block, or like
Okay, so it is idioms.
okay.
He uses a lot of idioms that are like really out of date, so to speak.
Oh, okay. Venture. Everyone assumes he's British, but I think it's supposed to be old-timey American slang. Interesting. Okay, do you want to voice Jake or you? Get your feet off my
Ooh,
chair.
I don't know. Do you have a preference?
I guess I could do you because Jake is intimidating to me, and I want to hear you to
Okay.
Jake. Will Song, no. Where's the boner comic? I don't know what that.
Wait,
The boner
which boner comic?
comic. Which it's upsetting that there's more than one boner comic that. Uh,
Hmm.
okay, well
Well,
I'll let you guys ponder on the boner comic.
yeah.
All right, we'll start this.
Okay.
Hello there, darling.
Ahoy, madam.
I don't relish. Oh, her thing. Oh yeah, she is a troll. She got weird things. I don't relish troubling you with more arm twisting. I'm sure for all I've done so far, you've had a jolly good workout already. But you will be ready to deliver the package today, yes?
I'm determined as ever to see this through, but as usual, events have conspired to make a boondoggle of the prospect. I think I might be fucked.
Hmm? How so?
Terry needs fuel, and I don't have any left. I think I'm at Strider's dubious mercy for a solution yet again. I will have to ask him for help, and soon.
Well, there you go, love. Better hop to it.
Yes, I will. But also, there's a matter of the rabbit's armaments. I don't imagine he'll do a lot of friggin' good in helping Grandfather Crocker from kicking the old bucket without them. Did you not say you'd supply these?
I did indeed say so, and have already done.
You did? When?
In your future, I've relayed the information enabling you to create the powerful weaponry yourself. And you did. You then sent them back in time. You may recover them in the ruins, which conveniently is where you must go to ship the package once and for all. Bang up plan we hatched, don't you fancy?
I see. Yes, it sure is, if that is the case. Then all that's left to do is find power for it. Oh, and also enough power for that stupid transmateria bob. Ugh! So much to do before shuttling this goddamn thing into the past. I mean, that is what I'm doing, right? Giving it to my grandma when she was a kid growing up on the same island I did?
She is also British, at least British coded? I don't know what British coded means.
Like, using that kind of slang, like...
Oh, I see. I don't know that I can do a British accent, and it'll probably be offensive to any British person watching. So I feel like I need Butt Snipe for that. I feel like Butt Snipe could do. They were rocking the kind of Englishy. She's not from Earth, but she sounds like it. She uses extra U, like color. Oh, I see. I see. That is somewhat close to the truth, and I can see, Nils, seriously. Okay? Keep your feet off my chair, because when you spin it, my knees smash into my keyboard tray, and I'm not into it. I've asked you not to do that. Okay? So keep your feet down. Seriously. Yeah. I love you, but you need to just listen. Okay. Sorry, scolding my child. He does this thing where he sits on the bed and kicks my chair with his feet, and so it spins it, and then
Mm-hmm.
my keyboard tray. Yeah, it's just. Um, that is
Oh,
somewhat close to the truth, and I can see how you would draw that conclusion, but there's more to it you don't understand yet. You will sort it all out in time.
these are among those dad-blasted casual spoilers you refuse to dish out?
Somewhat. It wouldn't hurt you much to know the truth, I imagine. It's just the truth is a wee bit complicated. Perhaps a draft of the cascading sequence from which your reality has arisen will put your mind at ease. Imagine two universes, A and B. Now imagine there are two instances of each universe, A1 and A2. There's no way I'm going to be able to focus with this baby music. Now imagine there are two instances of each universe, A1 and A2, and B1 and B2. The first instance of each is like a test run that does not quite succeed. The second instance, though, will meet all of its purposes. Now consider that A1 begets A2, A2 begets B1, and B1 begets B2. And the participants of B2 are the ones who will make an effort to exit all this turbulence and faldero. You are one of them. And your young ancestor is another, though she is presently stationed in B1. And yes, she is in the past, though not quite as far as you believe. Nor does she occupy the same stream of continuity.
I'm not sure I completely follow that, but okay.
Same, Jake. I didn't follow
Yeah.
that at
Would
all.
you like further clarification?
Yes, please. I didn't get that at all.
Okay. So the A1 and A2 are referring to the troll sessions. B1 and B2 are referring to the human sessions. So A2 is the beta troll session. So that's what it means. A2 begets B1. B1 is the first human session. So then B1 begets B2. That's the kids scratching the game to make the alpha session with these four kids.
So, okay, let me see here. I need more notes. Okay, whoa! I'm sure Jake is absorbing this. Alright. Oh, that's not a full page. So, we have... I have to look at this visually. So we have A2, A1. So you said A1. These A is the troll sessions and B is the kid sessions, right?
Yes.
So A2 begets... So troll session 2 begets B1, which is pre-scratch, right?
Yes. So that's the A2 session was the one, the trolls session where they created Earth. So that A2 begets B1.
So trolls create Earth.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then A1
Is
troll session 1.
Yeah, so A1 is a scratch session that then made A2.
B2?
A2. So
A2.
A1
Oh.
is another troll session and that's scratched in the same way that B1 scratched to make B2, A1 scratched to make A2.
Oh, so implying that A1 is maybe the like ancestors one that they talked about? Is that kind of maybe?
We learn there's like a lot more information about A1 coming up like later in this act.
Okay, so A1 was troll session 1, scratched to become troll session 2. Troll session 2 became B1, and then B1 scratched? Did that scratch too?
Yeah, so B1 scratched, so we saw the scratching cascade, and then that is what made B2, which is where we are right now with Jake and Jane and the rest of the group.
Alpha kids post scratch. So here's my notes. Zigzag right. Yeah, I didn't think that far ahead. Current. My notes are much more terrible, but you probably have a better idea. So we have, let's see, I'm trying to catch it up here. So A1, let's see, A1 to B1. B1 goes down to scratch to B2. A1 to A2. I mean, that's kind of right?
Yeah, so A1 and B1 don't really have any direct relation. It's just like a straight line. Like A1 was like the beginning, and then it kind of goes from a straight line to.
Oh, but I thought it said A. Oh, A2. But it said A2 begets B1.
Oh yes, A2.
So why does. So why does. When the troll session 2 scratches, why does that make the beta kids, but when troll scratch. Oh my god, when troll session 1, A1, scratches, it makes trolls. The trolls didn't scratch, they won.
Yeah, the
Oh,
A2
A2 was
wasn't
the
a
winning.
scratch. They won the game and created the U.
Oh, so that's why. Okay, so A1, they fucked up somehow. And so they scratched,
Basically. Yeah, so they scratched.
created, they're like, okay, do over. And then Troll Session 2 won by Cancer. Winning game makes new universe. Okay, hold on. So A1 scratched. They fucked up somehow. We don't really know much about that yet.
Mhm.
I thought that A1 was the ancestors one. Am I not? Because they talked about how they messed up, right? And then Karkat's ancestor got killed, and blah 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 blah. And
Well, the story of the ancestor from that like Doc Scratch segment happened in the A2 timeline many, many, many years before
oh, so
the
A1's
Beta Troll.
even before the ancestors, is what you're saying.
So
I know we're getting into spoiler territory.
yeah, I'm trying not to reveal anything at all about the specifics of the A1 session because that like there's a lot about that a little bit later on.
Okay, so we don't know
But yeah,
anything about
basically
A1.
the ancestor stuff from the Doc Scratch session happened in the A2 universe.
Okay.
Yeah.
The troll's ancestors were alternate versions of the players from the A1 session. Oh, so in the same way that the pre-scratch and the post-scratch A1 is, we know zero about A1 trolls. Okay, so the A2 happened, troll session 2, they won, created
Mm-hmm.
the universe. You
Yeah.
got the kids, as we know, where the game started, or essentially in the comic we read.
Mm-hmm.
Then that gets fucked up. Uh, Wait, no. Let me start at the beginning. So A1,
Okay.
something happened. It
Yeah.
scratched, became A2. A2 seems like kind of a long session because they had the ancestors and then they had the alternate or something. I don't quite understand. But then the trolls won. They created B1. Then B1, something got fucked up. We all saw during Cascade. That got scratched. And then B2 started. So now we have the B2 Alpha Kids post scratch. So does that mean that in theory we would have different trolls too? Because it's a different session? Or different versions of the same trolls? In theory, right?
That theory does make sense, but I don't want to spoil anything.
Okay.
that is a logical conclusion to come to. That is what I will
Okay.
say.
Yes.
Got
Okay, sweet. All right, so we're caught up. All right. That is the best I can do for now, primarily because I will not risk wasting much more of your time.
So, are you still in contention that I will meet our elders as youth?
Oh, yes.
Aha! Then I will be traveling through time. I knew it. Or they will be. Whichever it is. Which is it, by the way?
Casual spoilers, Sir English. Given the nature of the quest waiting for you, it wouldn't be shrewd of me to rule out the employment of time travel by any individual, but I will say that you probably prey to a basic misapprehension about the nature of this rendezvous. It will not take place on Earth. It will happen inside the game you are about to play.
Oh, well, shit.
Indeed.
This is frightfully exciting. I would love to meet them. I never got to know my grandma very well, and it always seemed like she led an amazing, adventurous life. Then this seemed to be proven true in my correspondence with her, so I'm really looking forward to it.
So true. I'd pay a hefty ransom to get to know my forebears.
I remember you mentioning your race doesn't really jive with ours, familiarly speaking.
Correct. I never knew those who would identify as my parental equivalents. It is in the way my race propagates. Our ancestors precede us by millennia.
Well, yes, ours do too, but generally we have all these other people in between parents. So I guess you do not have those? Like, systemically?
Nope, never did.
Well, neither did I.
Hmm.
Miss Alien, I think we are like birds of a feather, you and I. When do I get to learn your name, by the way?
Truthfully, it may be for the best that you never know it. It could stir up some things best left in the present equilibrium, and now I think I should bollocks off and leave you to it.
But, wait! There are still some things I'd like to know. About today, about this game.
No more procrastinating. Contact your friend, darling.
Yes, fine, okay, I will, but just please tell me in the least casually spoilery way possible. What are we even trying to accomplish here? What is even the rootin' tootin' point of this game?
I think you will have more fun than you can imagine finding out. But, stated concisely and short of spoilery, as you so charmingly put it, your objective today is to pave the way for the arrival of gods. Kisses. Aww.
Mm-hmm.
First time I've reread this, and now that I know who Yu is, it makes a lot more sense.
Yeah.
I'll say that the
I
human...
feel that too.
I don't know who Yu is.
Jake, unearth more computers. Do you have any more questions about the last Vesterlog?
No. I mean, I have all sorts of questions, but nothing that I'm going to get answers to at this time. Okay. So I heard my child.
Wait, note that it's causal spoilers, not cat. Oh my god, have I been reading that wrong the whole time?
Really? Wait, let me
Have I been reading that wrong since, like, the entire time I've been reading Homestuck for 8 years? Oh my god, yeah! Wow. I have been reading that wrong.
Where is that?
Or...
Oh, causally spoilery.
Forever. Causal spoilers.
Causally spoilery. Oh.
That makes a lot of sense. Oh my god, I can't believe I have been reading this comic. I've been around here 8 flipping years. And
everyone's mind is being blown.
Shit. Oh, that makes sense though. That makes sense.
There was something else that came up in this stream a while back that was one of those oh my god, I never noticed that type of things. Now I can't remember what it was. But it was another one of those that I guess people who'd been reading it a lot didn't notice, but somebody pointed it out.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think anyone's noticed that.
I love this so much.
Old stuck. Spoilers that cause things. That pesky cause. How do you say that? Causality? Causality? Is that right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
causality. Yeah, God, I just that's why I love this freaking comic so much. Like I read it in full like three, I think four times, and still every single time there's stuff like that.
You didn't catch?
Like yeah, or like little hidden things and being like, oh my god, and this connects to this.
Oh, Arsha said, I also never. Also, I've been reading it in Russian the first time, so guess the joke would get lost. Oh, yeah. That's kind of like watching anime and missing like the kind of pun jokes. Some stuff just doesn't translate when you kind of like word plays and stuff are so hard to translate into other languages.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we got a few more minutes here.
Okay. Jake, unearth more computers. If you're going to message your good bro, you might as well use a comfortable computing device. You've always found the husk top to be a little clunky, way too hands-on. Here are just a few at your disposal. Your grandma always was an advocate of thorough preparedness. She would strongly advise staying not only armed to the teeth, but well equipped in the computational department. You've been taught you should really carry no less than 5 computers on you at all times, like a sensible person. Jake, don computers.
Is
You
Jake
put on a
English
few of
Lord
your more
English?
ostentatious devices. Luckily, or unfortunately, you grew up alone, so there was never anyone around to these were also these were also inherited from your grandma. In addition to being quite the globe-trotting adventuress, she was rather enterprising as well. Her company made many products like this to compete with the corporation owned by the cruel baroness who raised her. Sadly, BC Corp eventually crushed her company and forced her into exile. You have always hoped that when Jane takes over that foul conglomerate, she will right all of its unspeakable wrong. You know she will. You believe in her, after all.
Why is he wearing Lord English's jacket? What's happening?
Explanations will come, I promise. Oh, the Russian one is translated to the end. That's really neat. I know the only one that I'd heard of before that had fully translated to the end was the Korean translation.
Oh, she's not even Spanish? I figured Spanish would be up there.
Hmm.
Biggest Lord
Jake,
English fan.
message your good bro.
Do you want to keep reading for Jake?
Sure.
Oh, TT. Oh, wait.
Timaeus testified.
So who is... Give me a lowdown on TT's personality.
Okay.
Is he...
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh
boy.
boy. Um. Yeah, he's kind of smartassy. He cool, cool. I guess kind of cool brass holy. I mean, Well, because this is.
Ironic.
Oh yeah, he's definitely very much into the irony thing. A lot of the extended metaphors, and that's very kind of Davy of him.
Equius, but Dave.
Aquarius, but Dave. I mean, like that. Yeah, that kind of fits. Much different with. Yeah, it's all of that like epilogue stuff is like making it a little more difficult to like separate the
Yeah.
developments. But yeah, he's got kind of a cold front, but he does have a heart and he cares a lot about his friends.
Interesting. Okay. It's exciting meeting all these new characters. All right. Go ahead.
Okay. Bro, are you there? I hate to be a pest about this, and I know I've made a hearty trouble deal lately.
State your business, Jake.
I should preface this request with an overture of appreciation for how much your cool and brotherly friendship means to me. It has been absolutely bully to have a stand-up gent like you in my corner. Just a grade A dude who's a cut above the others in class and camaraderie. Phew, gropes for fresh handkerchief. I hope this shit isn't coming across as platitudinous. I really mean it.
Take it easy, Bromide. Just about the only way I could salvage endearment from this perilous slope of horseshit would be to discover, really fucking soon, mind you, it was a preamble to some floundering invitation for me to rush to your vicinity as nakedly as possible. But since we've already shot the wads eventuality on many dry runs of flustered ambivalence that were as hilarious as they were one-sided, that leaves only one hope for this message to avoid spiraling toward qualification as a critical fucking defect in the whole of the Mach 10 rocket that is my precious spare time. Hold on. What is that? Pounding. Oh, he's fine. He's just being weird. And that hope lies in the extent to which you were practicing artful insincerity. Now's your opportunity to pretend that's what you were gunning for. I suggest you seize it.
Oh, yes, but of course, the ironies. Good grief, how I was bandying them just now. You know me, dude. Blows smoke off red-hot irony pistol. Not suggestively. Yeah.
Okay, nice. Now that your obsequious preface has been established as indisputably entertaining for all the right reasons, and intentionally so, let's bear down on these dire shit needs you've got. I'm guessing you're probably jonesing for uranium about now? No?
Oh, pshaw, as if I would be so reckless with the stuff. I would have to be mighty irresponsible to run out already. No, I'm all set in the uranium department, and really, when you take a look at the big picture, you'll find that I am sitting pretty when it comes to just about any radioactive isotope you could mention. However, my backup reserves that I keep strictly for emergencies are running a little lean. You know what my grandma taught me about preparedness. Tugs at colorful lapels.
You are out of uranium. It's basically mathematically impossible that's not why you're contacting me.
Christ, what an insufferable, awesome friend you are. Okay, can you please just scientificate me some more already? I'm kind of in a hurry.
You do know my offer still stands.
What?
You know. I've offered to construct the rabbit for you many times before. I would craft a much deadlier model.
Oh, I know you would. It's just... Damn it, man, I told you this is just something I have to do myself. It's a promise I made to Jade, and I'm going to live up to it, even if I'm not the best or even the second best robosmith I know.
Yeah, I know this is your policy. You've done a good job, and you should be proud. But it's my responsibility as your friend to offer one last time, just as it's my responsibility not to just fork over a bunch of uranium just because you ask me in a moment of weakness.
Frig, why not?
It's too easy, and you yourself are the one taking pride in this. If you were half-assing this project and made some slovenly plea for it, I'd just say, fuck it, here's a lot of green rocks, dude, go nuts.
Okay, then I'm half-assing it. Look, see, you only a bisected bottom is present. Where is the other half, you ask? Why, it's nowhere to be found. I didn't use it.
Nope, not buying it. I know that every ounce of your premium behind can be accounted for in that rabbit, and there's no goddamn denying it. And you know perfectly well where some more uranium can be located.
Oh, Jesus Christmas, you are such a fucking douche.
It seems you think I'm a fucking douche. That's your opinion, I guess. That's cool.
I knew you were going to suggest this. I don't know why I bothered asking. Strider, why must you always be such an obstinate stick in the mud?
It seems that you consider me to be, no less than 100% of the time, an obstinate stick in the mud. I unironically respect your position on this matter. Hey, let's continue to exchange ideas.
Wait. It seems?
What?
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Is something the matter, Jake?
This is your autoresponder.
We'll just get through this last one. Look at the statement you just made. It's time for me to respond with some words, ideally chosen and arranged in a way that will wreck your shit in a subtle and psychologically devastating way.
Har, har, har. Just so ironic. Quotes, quotes, quotes. I'm laughing my caboose straight off the tracks. A lot of families just died in that tragic derailment.
Okay, the caboose remark was actually pretty funny, Jake. If I truly were what you say I am, I wouldn't be able to feel the human emotions of joy and laughter. No?
Laughter isn't an emotion, Dick Prince.
I think you should back your claims up with proof because you go around heaving such before you go around heaving around such accusations.
Man, it's so flipping obvious. You start getting kind of extra technical and vague and automaton-like. And kind of aloof and brusque. I mean, even aloofer and brusquier than usual. Also, you use the phrase, it seems a lot. It's so silly, it really blows the AI immersion, man.
Bullshit. I'm being like the perfect dude right now. A fully fucking legitimate human being.
Okay, then check this out, Mr. Legit Human Dude. Excuse me, sir, not to be a bother, but could you please tell me all about this Strider fellow's autoresponder?
It seems you have asked about DS's Clat Giant Autoresponder. This is an application designed to simulate DS's otherwise inimitably rad typing style, tone, cadence, personality, and substance of retort while he is away from the computer. The algorithms are guaranteed to be 96% indistinguishable from DS's native neurological responses based on some statistical analysis I barely just pulled out of my ass right now.
You see?
What if I was just fucking with you there? Would it really be so unthinkable for a human to type that?
Because you always say shit like that after I catch wise to your games. You as in the autoresponder.
Unimpressed. Logical fallacies are as pervasive throughout your argument as your antiquated verbal tics.
Oh yeah? Hey, tell me about the autoresponder. Make it snappy, shit knickers.
It seems you have asked about the DS's chat client autoresponder. This is an application designed to simulate DS's otherwise inimitably rad typing style, tone, cadence, personality, and substance of retort while he is away from the computer. The algorithms are going to be 93% indistinguishable from DS's native neurological responses based on some statistical analysis I basically just pulled out of my ass right now.
Gee, dude, you sure typed that exact same thing pretty fast. Are you still fucking with me?
It could be a coincidence that I typed the same answer.
You always type that answer!
It could be a coincidence that I always type the same answer.
Ugh. I can't stand this. Every time we do this and I just wind up whistling Sweet Dixie out my bumhole. This is pointless. This is pointless. I'm not having this conversation unless it is with my real-life friend. The one with human feelings who isn't a pretend person inside sunglasses.
Okay, but I'm pretty sure he's going to share my position on the matter. So, what we found out, I think, TT is that Dirk? Dirk?
Yes.
Strider. Dirk. Bro? Yeah, sweet dicks. What? Jeez, I look away from the chat for 1 second and look back and it just says sweet dicks. And I can just picture it coming out of adorable little Arsha speak. Dark Strider. Boner comic.
Oh yes, they found the boner comic earlier.
What is this? So then I laughed and revealed my hilarious boner. Excuse me, what? No, wait. The autoresponder has just informed me you are using yet another outdated colloquialism. As I understand it, the word boner used to be slang for embarrassing screw-ups as far as back as the 1950s. Oh yeah, something... I feel like I saw a bunch of like advertisements that were like something boner. There's these books called like the Book of Boners or something like that. Yeah. Is that still... It still does mean that, though? No. The boner's current definition is much less PG. To put it in terms you'd understand. In fact, I'd go so far as to say it's rated R. For raunchy as hell. Really. Oh ho, I get it. You're pulling a boner on me right now, aren't you? No, Jake. Listen, I'm being so serious right now. You almost had me fooled, my good bro, but you know you have to be smarter than that to trick a fellow with jets like mine. Sure. Okay, yeah, you totally caught me out, bro. Ah, I knew it. Wait till I tell the girls about this boner of yours. They should have a good chuckle over it. That's the best goddamn idea you ever had. Oh, that was funny. That comic is spoilers. Why is that spoilers?
What?
I mean, he's wearing the hat. The hat's in the picture. Jake, no. Okay, cool. I'm gonna save it here. Okay, well, we're
Oh, I
gonna
see the part that they could have been
save
referring to.
save here, and I'll be back on Thursday with oh geez, sorry. Who is that? Who's on Thursday? That is uh uh don't look. Don't look. Uh Thursday with Lawful Schoolgirl. Yeah, so Lawful Schoolgirl is no, I didn't notice. I'm horrendously non-observant, don't worry. Lawful Schoolgirl is a Homestuck fan who contacted me through Tumblr. So I had an open spot, and they're gonna join us on Thursday. So please come hang out with us on Thursday, and then Thursday is gonna be the last stream before our um, 413 midnight stream. More information about that to come. ChamomileGothic, you are of course invited if you would like to be there. It's gonna be really late for like anyone on the East Coast.
I'm up super late anyway. That works for
Nice.
me.
Okay, well, I will be kind of going back through my calendar and making sure to remind everybody later this week about it, and then probably just creating a voice channel in the artist chat, and then kind of inviting everyone, whoever wants to show up. Um, Horrendously unobservant, analyze the entirety of Jake's room. Okay, I'm selectively horrendously. I'm inconsistently unobservant. There we go. Inconsistently, horrendously unobservant. Um, there's still sobbing things you ain't got spoiled for you yet, like the 13th troll. Yeah, I still don't know who that is. I could like dig around in fan art, but I won't. I'll be good. Um, I feel like someone's just gonna submit like a picture to FanForge now, and it's gonna be like 13th troll, and it's gonna be them. I'm like, damn it! I have to look at it. It's my job. Um, but thank you, Kim and Miel, for joining. That was great. I really enjoyed having you here for this.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Yeah, and thanks everyone for showing up. I hope everyone's doing okay with the never-ending lock-in. And yeah, they just extended ours to May 4th.
Mm.
And yeah, so it's gonna be a long. It was Cassie's Trollsana all along. It was Marcus. Thanks for the stream. Oh, thanks everyone. I will see you guys back here on Thursday. Don't forget to follow. Kind of like I said before, I will be hosting art streams as I see them go live. Unfortunately, I see some of them go live at times I'm never around, so I just kind of hit them up when I can. And you can kind of keep see some of the artists that we work with, and I'll kind of keep building on this stream. But I will talk to you all later. Just hang back, Chamomile, and we'll see you next time. Bye, guys.
Bye.